And then there were fewer. Yes, the NFL playoffs have brought us less teams as more move on and more games today that we'll be talking about here in your world of sports updates from Point of View. I'm Bobby Munson, the man beside me. He is Andre 2/3 Fluffy C. Good morning, Andre. How are you doing, brother?
I'm all right. Running on about 4 hours sleep, but actually far less tired than I thought I'd be running on 4 hours sleep. I'm doing pretty well. Good weekend so far. Just getting some life stuff done this weekend, and no wrestling, which is weird for me. Not having wrestling on a weekend, it's just odd because I'm used to. There's so much wrestling I go to here in the city. It's weird. Like next weekend, I've got possibly 4 shows in 4 days I'm going to, because I got LPW CWS on Thursday, LPW on Friday. I'm working RCW on the Saturday, and then LPW has their Oil Rumble event on the Sunday at the Oil Kings game. The jersey feature proudly behind me. Yeah, so it's gonna be it's a possible long freaking weekend next weekend. So having this off is really nice. So
perfect. Going to our chat here quickly. Good morning, Zach. Thank you for joining in, and Peggy's joining us as well too. Good morning, gents. Good morning, Peggy. Peggy was just featured with yourself and OLED on Friday. Some Marvel chat going on there, so go and check out the replay of that, the preview for this year, and what are you talking about this? Let's start this off with some NHL today there, Andre. Habs come back last night. Lay it down. I want to hear all about it.
I didn't end up watching because I was watching football and other things. I was watching a movie, keeping track of football, keeping track of hockey. Yeah, that was my night last night. But Habs coming back, winning 6-5 in overtime to beat the Senators. And again, very happy with that. Again, Senators are bottom of the division team, but again, the difference in points is 11 points. So you have the Senators at the bottom with 50, but you have the Lightning on top with 62. That's not a huge gap. You know what I mean? For a division, the 12-point gap from first to last is not crazy. So a lot of teams are still still there. No team's out because there's still a little over 30 games to go in the NHL season. So again, no team is out of it, especially in this division. So again, great game from the Canadians last night. I gotta love it. I always happy with my team. Lane Hudson, man, I can't get over how good this fucking kid is. 3 assists on the night. I'm gonna have to buy a Lane Hudson jersey at this point. I was talking about it with my buddy Adam Blank when I did when we were recording Remember the Game a couple days ago, which will be coming out live this Wednesday, or not live, but coming out this Wednesday. We were talking about Lane because he's a huge Habs fan too, so we were talking about Lane Hudson, and yeah, he's like, I gotta buy a jersey. I'm like, yeah, it's feeling that way because the guy's he's becoming this superstar for the team. And then Cole Caulfield's been amazing. So many good. Stokowski had a hell of a game, 2 goals there. So it's so fun to be a fan when the team is doing well. It's those years where where they're just bad, where you're just like, oh, why am I a fan of this team? But I'm glad I've stayed a fan. Don't me wrong, my appreciation for hockey has waned over the last couple of years and has kind of came back during the midpoint of last season. I got back in kitty. But I've just, it's cool getting to be a fan of a team that can actually be proud of what they're doing again, instead of being oh, my team sucks, but we're rebuilding. That's what we're doing. But this year it's actually the rebuild has worked. We're firing on a lot of cylinders. We have a good team. We may not have a Stanley Cup winning team, but we have a playoff contending team. You know what I mean? It's one of those feelings you get, as a Man United fan, you know the ups and downs of that. We'll talk about them, but it's so fun to have that feeling back as a fan. And I think it's everybody. Look at Edmonton. For long sufferings, for because you're somebody you understand, right? It's long suffering for so long, and then have had this resurgence in these last few years to be this amazing team. So it's fun seeing my team getting to do something. I don't think they're winning a Stanley Cup this year, but they're a hell of a contending team, and they have something built. They really build for the future, which I love. Again, the whole thing has been really good. You got the Metro Division, the Hurricanes on top over there with a commanding lead by about 7 points, 64 over the number 2 place, 57-point Islanders. Again, Rangers actually sitting at the bottom of that division, which is a little bit surprising. It's usually a stronger team over in the West. Again, you got the Oilers sitting second from the top in the Pacific Division, right behind the Golden Knights. Again, that's a very competitive division outside of the back two, which are 46. And the Canucks just aren't competitive anymore. I don't know what it is. Sitting at 37 points, lowest in the league by a long shot. They just don't want to play anymore for some reason. I don't understand it. And the thing is, getting last place in the NHL does not guarantee you're getting the first overall pick, because again, the draft lottery changes that. Where like you got other sports like the NFL, if you get last, you're getting first, right? So it's not like you're tanking for a shot at the first overall pick, I guess. But yeah, they can't get it right. Like it's a team that just can't get it. 6-0 loss to the Oilers, and just. It's a travesty to see what this team has become, because this is a team like 10 years ago were Stanley Cup contenders and were like constantly in the playoff hunt. Now they're just, over these last few years, have just really fallen to just a really weird, poor level, and it's sad to see that. You know what I mean? Like it's just,
Oh, I know all too well, and we'll talk more on that shortly. Ed's in the chat. Ed, thanks for stopping in today. Appreciate you. Bills might need to think of a quarterback or coaching change in the next year or two if this keeps happening.
Quarterback. Their quarterback is doing just fine. He played a great game. I'm sorry I didn't get to watch football live yesterday due to life, but I watched both games highlights. Josh Allen played very well. You can't I don't think you need a quarterback change. It's I think a front office issue, not even the coaching. I think it's a front office issue. Is you have good pieces. You have Dalton Kincaid there, Dalvin Cook. You have some good pieces, but I think he needs a wider range in his options to throw to. You need to get a couple more better wide receivers in Buffalo. But well, no, you can't blame Josh Allen.
Well, we'll talk about that game very shortly. Before we do, I want to talk about my great experience yesterday morning in watching Manchester United for a change. So I woke up nice and early, and I thought to myself, hey, and I was telling you this before, I woke up thinking, realistically, as a Manchester United fan these days, because of how hot and cold they've been, all the issues they've had, the sacking of Ruben Amorim recently, and Darren Fletcher stepping in as temporary interim, and now the appointment of Michael Carrick, former Manchester United midfielder, as the interim manager until the end of the season. And yes, it turned out to be a very nice birthday present, Peggy. So I woke up thinking to myself, realistically, please don't lose by a lot, Manchester United. Please just, a tie would have been great. I would have been very happy with a draw in that game in particular. I was just thinking, please don't let this be like a 6-0 or something similar to the Canucks and the Oilers game. And to my surprise, what a different day on the pitch it was for Manchester United. Very shocking, in fact. Not only did they hold out for a victory, they held out for a 2-0 victory over rivals Manchester City, which temporarily put us fourth on the table. We ended up fifth in the table once other teams had played their games. So we are just holding it in fifth place right now with a chance to still make it to fourth. It is entirely possible. We do have Arsenal next, which again scares the living hell out of me. But if we play like we did yesterday, there's a solid chance we could get by Arsenal too. Like, we held out Erling Haaland, who's clearly one of the best goal scorers in the entire English Premier League. He couldn't get a foot right to save his life. City could not get a shot on target at all. I think they only had a couple of them that actually went anywhere near our keeper. So our keeper had a very quiet day for the most part, but it could have been a lot more than two. Like I was telling you, Andre, we had 2 other goals that were scored that were just slightly offside. They were called for offside afterwards, so that could have been 4. And there was actually a header from Maguire that just about went into the back of the net. It could have been a 5-0 game in favor of United, which is the complete opposite of the expectation going out there yesterday. Now, I'm still under no disillusion that this team it's magically fixed because we put out a different interim manager or because he changed the style of play just slightly. There is still some massive problems. And when we talk about the massive problems you were talking about in the NFL with the leadership, that is where the problems are at. And I talked heavily about it last week. If everyone wants to go back and hear about it, about how it's the ownership that are holding this team back. And it seems to be the same issue over and over again. We're excited right now because we won. We got a victory. Yes. And I'm a supporter. I'm going to take that and be like, great. Thank you, United, for not only winning, but thank you, Carrick, for going out there and helping the team get to that place. But this job wrecks everybody. And I think it's going to wreck Michael Carrick by the end of this season. And it's going to wreck the next manager. As long as the Glazer family and the Ineos group are involved in Manchester United, as long as there is these uneducated, non-footy fans in charge of the club, it's going to be run as if it's a business. And I think they sit there and look at it like, well, the more we spend on players, the less there is for us at the end of the day. And the more we do this, the less there is for us at the end of the day. They've cut jobs. People lost their jobs and stuff because they weren't making enough money. Well, here's something that these boys need to clue into. If you were the number 1 club once again in the world, if all of a sudden you could turn this team around and we were firing on all cylinders and winning trophies, that's what made this club profitable. That's what made it one of the most recognizable brands in sports, especially for footy across the globe. And you're allowing this to diminish season by season by season. Yes, I should not be upset because 5th place right now, we're sitting in 5th. This is higher than I expected us to finish. Now, not to say we'll stay there, but with any hope we can. And it would be very, very nice to see that improvement, especially after our 15th place finish last season. But I'm on no disillusion that this is going to last. We might ride a high for a little while, but the problems are going to come back, and it's going to be rough. STG's in the house. Just in time to say the fact that they're 1 point behind Liverpool grosses me. The fact that Liverpool got ahead of us, considering we were ahead of you guys for a while there, it kind of grosses me out too there. But it should gross your ass out because you did spend a lot of, well, so do we, but you spent a lot on players this season that haven't really stepped up to the plate and proven themselves. But yeah, 1 point difference. We're coming for you. We're coming for you. But at the same time, I also picked Liverpool, I think, to finish first place in our draft picks. So I don't know if I really want Liverpool to fall that much from grace that badly.
At least your pick is in contention. My pick is in 17th.
17th, barely above the relegation zone, with 0 chance of winning the Premier League, like you had, predicted there.
I make bold predictions. Sometimes my bold predictions are right. Sometimes my bold prediction crash and burn and make me look really stupid, which this did.
He's going on about the Seattle Seahawks already.
We'll talk about it.
We'll get there, buddy. We're getting there. We're getting there. Just hold on. I thought you were on some stuff. Yeah. Oh, I thought he was too. Picking Forest for number 1 that is a bold choice for anybody to make. And let's give people, again, for those of you unfamiliar with the Premier League, might not know who some of these teams are, but let me just give you a breakdown of where we stand in the table right now. And if I say a team has a game in hand, it means that they have one to play, most likely playing today. So just hear me out here.
There's a game later today and a game tomorrow.
Yeah, you bet. So in first place, having played all 22 games so far, it's Arsenal sitting on 50 points. Behind them in second place is Manchester City on 43 points. In third place, with a game in hand and an opportunity to take second place if they're victorious, overthrowing City, will be Aston Villa. Fourth place right now is Liverpool. Manchester United sit in fifth place with 35 points. Chelsea with 34 points in sixth place. Brentford are sitting in seventh place with 33. Newcastle are on 33 points as well, too, but the goal differential has them down in eighth. Same thing with Sunderland, who are sitting in 9th place. The goal differential has them there. They're on 33 points. Fulham sitting at 31 points. Brighton, Hove Albion with a game in hand are sitting at 11th point with 29 points. So that would mean that they could pull ahead of Fulham into 10th place with a victory. They have Everton with a game in hand, also sitting in the same position on 29 points. Crystal Palace are sitting in 13th with 28. Tottenham are sitting in 14th with 27. Bournemouth with a game in hand sitting on 15th place with 26 points. We have Leeds United sitting in 16th place, 25 points. Your Nottingham Forest pick there, Andre, 17th place, 22 points. And in the relegation zone, currently 18th place with 17 points, West Ham United. 19th place, it is Burnley on 14 points and definitely not getting themselves out of the relegation zone. Wolverhampton Wanderers sitting at 8 points. Very bleak for a team like Wolverhampton Wanderers. The only thing they really can do now to turn the season around is to chip away enough points to try to pull out of the relegation zone. But when you're sitting on only 8 points for the entire season, it is going to be a hard battle for them to not go down.
That's like constant winning to get yourself just out of relegation. They need to be pretty much winning out the season, which that seems crazy.
I mean, if they won every game, they definitely pull themselves out of because there's still, you pretty much have just about every team to play left, so they would get themselves out of that relegation zone. If I were the manager there and you were brought in halfway through the season to try to redeem this team, I would be doing everything I could to just upset the balance by chipping away and going for the draws. I would pray that you could get the wins, but my whole thing would be defend, and counterattack. So the idea would be to throw as many you could into defense, have one really good runner up front, try to play it out from the back and hope like hell that your runner can get onto it, maybe pop a goal in for you. Worst case scenario, you play a really boring game of footy and draw the game, trying to pick up a point from each of those matches. If you pick up a point from each of those matches, it would probably be enough to pull them just outside the relegation zone and stay in the Premier League.
But hopefully the trees do enough to keep them outside too, because I don't want them. I don't want Wolverhampton moving up, but trees moving down. I don't want that happening. No, I can't. I can't lose more points.
Well, Forest need to, especially where they're sitting, to not drop down any further. I think that they have to almost do the same, right? Like they have to disrupt the balance by chipping away as many points as possible. So either going for those obvious draws or trying to pick up wins where you think you can get wins, especially when you're playing teams below you. In order to keep those teams below you, you want to make sure that you are definitively defeating those teams below you. And so, yeah, Forest, they have a long battle to stay out of the relegation zone. The 3 teams in the relegation zone have got a long battle to try to claw their way back. But again, this table, there is some really tight points other than Arsenal, who are clearly starting to take off away with this whole thing. It's starting to look like it's going to be hard to catch Arsenal at this point. Stuart, good morning. How are you doing? Thanks for dropping by.
Ed's biggest fan, Stuart. Yeah, like because he was all about Ed. Like he came for Ed, then for me, and he said he came for Peggy and Third coming to the show. Wow. There was some drama between Peggy and Ed when we were on Marvel Talk. It was interesting.
Oh my!
Between Peggy and Stuart, because Stu was there for Ed, not for her. I was like,
it's usually completely the opposite. I mean, don't get me wrong, Andre. You're always that middle piece of the sandwich and everything. But it's usually they go for Peggy first, then you, then Ed. That's usually the situation, at least from what I understand.
Except with STG, STG's always has me in last place. I know that.
I don't know. STG, he's got his hater Ed emojis that he seems to love. So we're saying West Ham needed their win yesterday.
He loves Ed's hate. He loves the hater Ed. That's the thing. He loves the hater Ed. He doesn't give a my shit.
Yeah. So Stuart mentioned about yes. So West Ham needed their win yesterday. And I was there for all of you.
Well, we saw the messages there, Stu. We saw the messages. And yes, I usually am. I am a shit disturber. I am. But it was not me on Friday. It was not me.
Yeah. But back to Stuart's points here for yesterday. West Ham did edge out that win over Tottenham, which was huge for them, especially to get themselves back in the conversation of getting out of the bottom three. And again, it is detrimental. It can, especially like the situation is between the championship and the Premier League. The championship is one of the hardest divisions. Like people talk about how elite the Premier League is. The championship is so difficult to get out of and get to the Premier League because it's so hard fought. And you keep it in mind that you don't just, there's two automatic positions that go up. First and second automatically go up. And then after that, it is third, fourth, fifth, and sixth play a mini tournament for the final spot to get into the Premier League. So you've always got that looming. If you're not quite good enough to get into the first or second spot, third is not necessarily good enough because you get third, and then all of a sudden that, sixth place team fires back, has a really great run, and gets themselves into the Premier League. So very, very difficult league to get yourself out of. So falling down, very detrimental. You lose a lot of money going down. You lose a lot of quality players because they're going to want to either stay in the Premier League with another club or they're going to want to move on to another country or division altogether because they don't want to necessarily find themselves floundering in the championship. So there's a lot of loss that happens to teams when they make that step backwards. And so that's what they're trying to avoid here. Championship might be the most entertaining league because it really is. There is some quality matches, quality players. Everybody fights so damn hard. It is something else. Like I don't talk about it a lot here because obviously my team is in the Premier League, at least for now. Fingers crossed it remains that way forever. But yeah, it is a difficult position to be in. And a lot of teams find themselves there for either a long time or they find that they go down and the decline continues because those teams are fighting so hard in the championship and they've already established themselves fighting so hard in the championship that you really start to lose that momentum, especially when you lose some of your key players in that process. So very difficult indeed. Long time to go still. We have got some months left, I believe. We wrap up in April or May. By the end of April or early, sometime in May is, I think, when the last games of the Premier League are played. So a lot still to go, but it is looking more and more like this is becoming a race to see how quickly Arsenal wraps up the championship this year. But who knows? Maybe Aston Villa can disrupt this. I mean, if they pull in a second, they are on a hot streak right now. And I don't think anyone would have. I predicted Villa up there, but not this up there. Not this up there at all. Yeah, you're not wrong. Just look. I used Leeds United as an example all the time. They were the number one team at one point in time. They were the club to be at. They were what people used to think of Manchester United as until they fell from grace. And that's what I keep warning people with Manchester United. If we take that drop like Leeds did, it's one step towards complete and utter chaos for the club. And bouncing back is difficult, very extremely difficult. And I'm glad, Stuart, that you brought this up because it's a great example. If anybody's curious, if you got the time, go look up a movie called The Damned United, which will kind of tell you all you need to know about the hate. Well, it doesn't exactly focus on the heyday of Leeds United, but you'll see that at one point in time, they were the team that people wanted to be at, the club they wanted to be at. And their fall from grace, again, it happened with problems with management, with people in charge and stuff like that. And more, they just kept falling and falling and falling. Yeah, it's an amazing film, actually. I really like The Damned United. I think it's fantastic. And yeah, part of that fall is noted in there, even though the focus isn't just on Leeds United, particularly in that you will notice some of the fall that starts to occur during that time frame that movie was based upon. Go back and check it out. It is phenomenal. So, but I will stop ranting about the footy because I know people want to talk about some other sports. Andre, before we get to the NFL playoff talk, what else you got for us in the world of sports? Any updates?
Not a lot, but I got F1 has a lot of teams are unveiling their cars for the upcoming 2026 season. Cadillac out on the Silverstone track for the first time with their car, just showing what they can do, and it's been promising. Not like you're not like, oh my God, they're the champions. They're going to be winning the championship. But again, they don't look slow. They don't look, again, at least from reports that I'm reading, they don't look slow. They don't look like they're like a non-competitive team. I guess Valley Botas did pick up a penalty in something. I don't know exactly what it was, and that'll be applied at the first race of the season in 2 months, in like a month and a half. Which I'm like, it's practice. What the fuck just happened? But I haven't really got the clarification on what that is. But the F1 and how they penalize people for the dumbest freaking shit is insane. But I still love the sport. It's still beautiful scientific sport. But yeah, a bunch of teams out there. The cars unveiled. So again, looking like you're interested here. There's teams saying that Red Bull's engines aren't legal, but Red Bull's coming out going, no, we followed all compliances and everything. So it's preseason. It's preseason for F1, so everybody is just trying to take every advantage and make every kind of point going before the season. Because if you can get a car in trouble before the season starts, then they're having to deal with FIA issues instead of having tuning everything up and getting everything ready. If they're having to deal with proving shit, they're not fixing shit. So I can understand why team, and especially it's Red Bull, so everybody's going to go after Red Bull, even though they're not the champions this last year. They were on top for so long, people still just hate them. And one other thing about fun I was reading, Lewis Hamilton getting a new race engineer, which last season seemed to be a very big problem for him. Him and his engineer, like it's the guy in his ear, that's talking to him throughout the race. They just didn't get along. They had just weird, like, frustration with each other all year long. He was getting mad at him constantly. They just this communication, and he's got a new, according to reports, he's got a new race engineer in his ear this year. So that's good for Lewis Hamilton. Bad for the rest of the field because nobody wants to see Ferrari succeed because Ferrari, gross. No, nobody likes that horse except for one person that I know, but gross Ferrari. Yeah. Bobby knows what I'm talking about.
Well, there's the F1 news for you, the end updates. But let's roll into what everybody wants to talk about because it's the biggest conversation piece in all of sports right now, and that is the NFL playoffs headed towards that Super Bowl. Andre, yesterday we had two games and two completely different games. One that was tight, it was a close call, it was down to the wire. And one that was good. I'm sure was only good for the people that were loving the Seahawks because, oh my God, what a blowout game that was there. The 49ers getting completely demolished yesterday in a 41-6 game against the Seahawks. I mean, I know I picked the Broncos and the Seahawks to end up going to the end, and I picked the Broncos to end up taking the victory. I'm starting to have my doubts looking at the way the Seahawks are playing. Oh my God. Like if they continue to play like this, don't get me wrong. I don't think the Broncos are going to get blown out like that in a final game in the Super Bowl, but
they will, they don't have their quarterback anymore.
That's true too. Yeah. So that doesn't help,
so Bo Nix fractured his ankle last night in their game in one of the weirdest spots. So I was watching this morning, just kind of looking about it. And there's literally a physician that does YouTube videos breaking down injuries in football and sports, right? So I was watching, and he's pretty sure when Bo Nix tried the spot right before he had the big throw downfield, right towards the end of the game. They think when he went to turn, when his leg went like it just went a little bit over, and that's he believes. Again, nobody knows where it happened because when he got up off that play, he wasn't even limping. It wasn't until he took the knee 2 plays later, and when he was coming off the field, did you see him limping. Dude, it is incredible to have fracture his ankle and still play another couple downs, and then make an amazing throw and then take a knee so that they can kick a field goal. Just crazy that it happened because now it happened in essentially their third last game of the year if they go to the Super Bowl. Like, I feel so bad for him. Like, he's been leading this charge of the arguably second best team in football right now after the Seattle Seahawks. And just season-ending injury. Like, the Broncos must be just scrambling. Yeah. No, I agree with you, SCG. Oh, SCG over on YouTube. What the hell? This is weird.
Made a switch.
Oh, it's a different STG. Oh my God, it's STG 121. His brother S121. Okay, it's his brother 121. Okay, but yeah, like just crazy. But like the Seahawks, holy shit! I swear to God, they have a cheat code. This is this is Madden. This is you play. This is a person playing Madden on rookie mode. Like on the rookie difficulty and just running that score up. It just
this is like having the Nintendo Game Genie back in the day and being able to put all those cheat codes in to give yourself the advantage and everything.
There was one football game. If you played this was Bo Jackson, you could just like run around the field. They did it in a movie.
I remember that.
I can't remember what movie it was, but he was running around the field and eventually like goes backwards down the field and comes back and like never gets tackled. And that shit is real too. It's not like you can't.
That was a cutaway on Family Guy. The one time where they actually show the legitimate game. Yeah, they make the joke that it's like let's play Bo Jackson football or whatever football game it was that features Bo Jackson. Yeah. And then I think Peter picks Bo Jackson and he's playing against Quagmire and he's just running and he's like, you can't catch me, you're never gonna get me. And he just goes on and on like he's impossible the entire time. But yeah, it's great. It's interesting. It's called proper drafting development and good defensive minded coaches. But not even I expected this success too soon. Seahawks have had a great year. And like, I kind of almost regret not saying that they would win. Like I picked Bronco and Seattle to go to the final with the Broncos winning. But I also, I forgot that Nix went off injured. Now, I hope it's not too severe. I mean, talking from experience in terms of breaking your ankle or fracturing your ankle while on the pitch playing. Like when I was playing footy the one time, a guy came in, double slided foot tackle to the side of my ankle and took it out. And initially, when I was out there, I'd sprained my ankle so many times. I'm like, okay, that hurt. That's probably going to be a sprain. So I stood right back up and didn't really feel any initial like pain other than from the connection. I didn't feel any out of the ordinary pain right away. I was walking around on it. I was just fine. And I even said to the team, don't worry, I'll be back next week for playoffs. And they're like, no, you won't. That's going to be broken. I'm like, nah, it's good. We're good. So I actually went and back to the locker room, had my shower, had my change, drove myself home that night. Went to bed, got up the next day. It was a little bit more sore in the morning, went to work, and it wasn't until halfway through my day at work, all of a sudden my foot started to, get inflated, and I had to go get it scanned. And they're like, yeah, you fractured it down the one side here or whatever when you were playing last night. So I ended up having to wear an air cast for a while. I didn't fully recover from the injury for I think it was 2 to 3 months. Like I was able to maneuver around, but by the time I was actually getting back onto the field and everything, I was a lot more cautious because you could feel every time I would turn or kick a ball, the strength wasn't there that I once had. And it was rough. It was very rough. As STG saying, fractured ankle is no joke. The coach came back for a second press conference to announce it. And it is no joke. It catches you off guard. It's not something easy to deal with. I fractured my elbow at 8 years old. It ruined any successful sports ambitions. It's hard. Right?
That's what. Yeah, your 8-year-old fracture is what ruined your sports ambition, not just sucking at sports. My parents popping my shoulder out of place when they were swinging me across the puddle when I was a little kid. When I was like 3 or 4, ended my sports ambitions. Yeah, that's what ended my sports ambition. Just having no talent is what ended my sports ambition.
Fair enough. But I mean, he's right. The fractures. I know. He's right. The fractures are no joke, though, too, because again, not that I never played again or anything like that. It's just that I think, especially at the age I was at already at that time, like sitting there in my 30s, and not saying that that's too old to be playing, but at that point in time, I'm like, I was a lot more careful about the way I went about my approach to playing and everything. And it affects your game on a mental level. That's the other thing, right? Like, is that fracture affects the game on the mental level. And when we think about Bo Nix, is he had such a great season this season. And hopefully mentally he can get back into the swing of things once he recovers and comes back next season, because you would hope he could build off this momentum. But the argument becomes, does it play on his mental state next season? Is he going to be a little bit more cautious about his approach and everything? As SDJ's saying, I played till I was 16, but I was always behind the 8 ball on anything that required my arm, physically and mentally. And Andre, destroyer of Bobby's lore.
Oh, I'm sorry. But it's just,
it's all good.
It's that good. It's just like, come on.
But yeah, it does affect you both physically and mentally, and in terms of recovering. So I get where that's coming from, and it's curious to see. Like, I hope for the sake of Bo Nix that he comes back better than ever, right? Like, because some people they'll have that drive, they'll have that mentality to go and be like, I'm not going to let this hold me back. I'm going to come back and I'm going to show to everybody that I am better than ever. And for his sake, I hope that's the case. For the sake of anybody who's not a Denver fan, you're probably praying he doesn't come and have a season like he had this season, because if there was anybody that was going to have a hope to bring Denver to the final, not only bring them there, but also to edge out a win, Bo Nix would have helped in that case. But I really do feel like this is the Seahawks season to lose. No, this is their playoffs to lose at this point. I think that unless they have a major slip up or something along those lines, there's no way they're not winning this.
I'm just looking at they have Jarrett Stidham now as their quarterback for and like who the fuck is Jarrett Stidham?
We might say that now, but maybe.
But you want to know Jarrett Stidham's stats for the 2025 regular season?
Sure.
0 yards, 0 TDs, 0 interceptions.
Okay, but what if all of a sudden within the next couple of games he turns into be the next big superstar?
Well, you better become the next best superstar in the next game, because if he doesn't do it next game, they don't keep playing. That's the thing.
No, and like, that's fair.
I feel for Bo Nix, because if for some reason Denver did win next week and then won the Super Bowl in a couple weeks, in 3 weeks, like that, it would almost be like devastating for him to get him to there, and then some other jabroni takes him the rest of the way. Like, imagine that. Like, imagine the Seahawks for some reason the wind strikes and Bears beat them next week, which will happen because that's my prediction. Bears, Broncos in the finals. If they get past the Rams today,
that's bold. That's a bold statement.
I said it earlier. I make bold predictions.
Yeah,
whether they come true or not, that's up to the world. But it's. I feel for just the coaching staff, everybody, and you can't sign anybody, you can't bring anybody in. You can't. It's not like you can bring anybody in. You have to go with the roster at this point. You're locked. You're screwed. You're stuck. You like maybe somebody off free agency, I think, but I'm not 100% sure on that point because I know you can't trade for anybody. I don't know if you can sign anybody at this point if you needed to, because they're in trouble. They are in trouble right now. But yeah, the Seahawks looking like they're going to murder. And then we got 2 games to play today.
We do. Let's talk about those for a bit.
Yeah.
So starting with the earlier game, we got the Texans and the Patriots playing. I know who Ed's going to be cheering for in that one, but
Texans,
do we all agree? Do we all want to see the Patriots get through, are we Team Texans here?
No, Texans, go Texans, man. Oh God.
We want the Texans to win to make sure that Ed has no chance of predicting the for this thing,
what did he
right?
predict? Because he predicted what did he pick? Patriots versus who in the final? I can't remember. I know you got the Patriots. I think Patriots Seahawks. I don't know.
If anyone didn't pick the Seahawks on the other side, they must be crazy.
I didn't.
Yeah, I know you did. My point exactly.
Yeah, because I'm insane. Remember, I'm insane. But it just, again, because the Patriots again, they've come back. They've put together such a tremendous team. Drake May, baby. Like I hate that the Patriots got him. I hate it with all my soul because they had a couple of decades of dominance with Brady. right? Like, and then you suffer. You're supposed to suffer longer. You're supposed to after a franchise QB goes away, you're supposed to spend at least 10 years of suffering. Other teams haven't, like Green Bay. They have had a code like to go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers now to Jordan Love. They've never gotten screwed in that point. But most teams get screwed, and they have years of having to fight and fight and fight and fight. Why do the Patriots get Drake May only after 5 years? It's not fair. This is not fair. No.
They got what they got, and they've rebuilt quicker, so they could possibly go a little further. But I know I'm going to be praying for the Texans on this one. Just because of Ed.
I think the line for this game is like pretty, like betting line on this is pretty close. Like there's no again, people are giving the Patriots, I think, the advantage here, but I don't think it's like this Seahawks 49ers kind of thing where you know that a team is going to dominate out. You're looking at it, and it's just this game could go either way. I look forward to it. I really do, because again, I think it's going to be a strong game. I just do not want to see the Patriots win, because I do not want to have them have a chance. Like, and I am really liking football right now, because again, it's very open. Like the Broncos, it's been a while since they won a Super Bowl. Seahawks, it's been a while since they won a Super Bowl. Texans, I don't know if they've ever won a Super Bowl. Patriots, fuck off. Rams have won a Super Bowl just a few years ago, but the Bears, Jesus, long suffering teams. Like this Super Bowl doesn't, because with the Eagles going out last week and the Chiefs not even making it in, the Ravens not making it in, you kind of got this like almost like I'm excited to see who makes it through. Again, you have your favorites, but it's still like it's exciting football. You never know who's going to win. I would love to see the Texans take this win on the road. I would really love to see them go and take down the Patriots, because I think the story for the Texans continuing to move on is a great story, I think.
And I just looked this up, and you are right. The Texans have never won the Super Bowl. There's actually 4 teams that have never won the official Super Bowl, and 2 teams that have never won a championship in football, period, in the NFL. So it reads here, the 4 teams that have never won the Super Bowl since it became the Super Bowl are the Browns, the Lions, the Jaguars, and the Texans. But the Browns and the Lions have won the NFL championship prior to it becoming the Super Bowl. So technically only the 2 teams that haven't won the big one in the end are the Jags and the Texans.
Yeah, but I still say that, again, they're not Super Bowl champions. So again, there's the few teams that have not. But yeah, it's still like, I thought it was 7 teams that have never won a Super Bowl. But whatever, I'm not sure.
Yeah, STG saying if Stroud can do just enough and the Texans swarm the Patriots, then there's a real chance. And there is. And that's why, a lot of us are going to tune in for the sake of this game, because it's interesting. Like, it is going to be a tight game. I wonder if we feel the other game. Like, I know, Andre, you picked the Bears. I think a lot of people are thinking the Rams are going to pull off the victory in that one. But talk about this one for a minute. Do you honestly, like, I know you picked the Bears, but like realistically looking at it, do you feel that they could take the Rams out, or is this going to be a Rams victory?
I do. Again, it's another one where the Rams are favored in their matchup. I get it. But the Bears have been doing, like, there's a reason they put themselves in their position to put themselves in that position this year, to be a division winning team this year. You can't count a team like them out. Like they've done really good things this year. Papa Smokes. There it is. There you go. I gotta give him some length.
But yeah, they had a very good year this year. Like, you can't deny how, yeah. And again, yes, you're right. They're a team that tends to suffer or come back in the fourth quarter. But you have to play consistently, especially going up against the Rams, who are a just beat your ass down team for all four quarters. This team doesn't stop. It's wild to see how good the team is. It makes me angry because my buddy Michael is a big fan of this team, and I hate them. And I'm a Cardinals fan, which makes it even hurts even worse to see the Rams do well. But like, it's just, I think the Bears have just had the season like that, like playing as underdogs this year. Like, I've been kind of the underdogs in a lot of it. Yes, I understand they suck. But it, pray to God Kyler Murray's gone next year. But it just, I think they have this just outside chance of just kind of surprising a lot of people and winning this and winning this. I just, Caleb and the rest of his team have done so well and played a really great season this year. I think they have a chance at it. Like, I really do. Again, they just got to play good, consistent football. Just the Rams are going, especially their defense is so good. It's going to be a very good game. I'm looking forward to watching it as much as I can because I do have to go out this afternoon, but I'm hoping to watch as much of this game as possible.
Yeah. Well, we got Texans Patriots. It's 2:00 my time. That one kicks off at 5:30 my time. Is the Rams and the Bears. So enjoy some NFL today. It should be awesome. But speaking of that, I think we just wrap up here and we let people get on with their sports day. Andre, it's I got nothing really else we need to talk about. I think it's time to go watch some sports. So throw your ticker up on the screen. You're going to tell the people what you got coming up, where they can find you.
Yeah. So actually, we just dropped an episode of Marvel Talk, our 2026 year in preview. This past Friday, we went live. Myself, Old Ed, and the Empress of OLE, Peggy. The three of us talked everything coming up in 2026. Some other stuff coming up in just some like the stuff that's on the dock for 2027, and rumors for 2028. We talked a little bit about that at the end. But yeah, we talked about all the projects coming out this year. We're excited for all of it. Trust me. I'm just talking about all the projects we're ready to enjoy. So check that out right here on the OLE YouTube channel. You can find me it'll be either Tuesday or Wednesday this week. I will be dropping the first episode of Pop Spot Presents over on Backbreaker Video. Myself and my co-host AWS are actually talking to Canadian wrestling independent superstar. He goes all over Canada, does the tours everywhere. It's Kamikaze. I think you might be familiar with the name of Kamikaze. I don't know if you know him personally, but you're probably aware of him.
Very.
Yeah. We are going to be talking to him about his career. Him taking time took like 7 years off from professional wrestling before making his return in 2023. We'll talk about all that. We'll talk about what got him into it as a fan. We're going to talk about Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. The inspiration for a lot of his merch are those two things. And does he have any other inspirations he might from his childhood and love of stuff to put on some merch in the future? Hope so. And I've got an idea for him if he does like it. So we got a lot to talk about with Kamikaze. We're actually recording that tomorrow night, but that will be coming out either Tuesday or Wednesday over on Backbreaker Video, so you can check it out. The first episode of Pop Spot Presents, and then you can find me right back here. And then actually, I've got 2 LPW shows and an RCW show this upcoming week. So in that following week, there will be a couple of episodes of Pop Spot Presents talking about all of that wrestling that I'll be going to, and possibly have another Pop Spot Presents for the LPW show at the Oil Kings game. But we'll talk. It'll all come out in the next week or so. But yeah, so check that out, Backbreaker Video, and I'll be back here next Sunday, live 9 a.m. point of view, or 9 a.m. my time point of view.
11 a.m. on the East Coast, anyway. So that's for Andreas, for myself, what I got coming up. Of course, this Thursday night, back in Ring Respect Radio Land, Pop Smokes, who's in the chat there, and I will be back this Thursday night with a trip through the territories. We're going to be talking about San Francisco. So, yes, you want to talk about one of the biggest territories and one of the most interesting territories. We got that covered this Thursday night at Ring Respect Radio. And then I'll give you a heads up now. 1 week from that on Ring Respect Radio, we have got a special guest coming in all the way from New Zealand. He is one of the most biggest, largest, and most devastating human beings in the world of professional wrestling today. He is the Great Ape. Jay Rilla is going to be joining us for a live interview. You're not going to want to miss out on that. Of course, back here with Andre and sometimes Ed here on Point of View, 11 a.m. Eastern time for your world in sports next Sunday and every Saturday over on the Prairie Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. You can catch myself at Pop Smokes calling all the action with a brand new matchup, and we got some great stuff coming up, including the releases from the Ring of Horrors officially starting in a couple of weeks' time, so stay tuned for that. But if you found any value in today's show or any of the other shows here on OLE, we take the time, please go check us out on all social media as well as YouTube and Twitch here. If you are watching on replay on YouTube, and you can do us a big favor, hit the subscribe button down below, click the notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section below, who do you got to win in the NFL playoffs? Who do you see going all the way, and who was your team? Are they still in? Let us know in that comment section below. And if you haven't heard of these things, how about, first of all, we announced it last week, we are now a YouTube partner, so we have super chats, we have super stickers, we have all those wonderful things that you can use to help support the channel here, now available at OLE Podcast. You can also do something else. This has been available for a while, just getting used to it. But if you're watching on a mobile phone, please go ahead after this show has aired live after a couple days and use, I think you get up to 3 a week, but you can give hype points. And what hype points do is the more hype points we receive, the higher up the videos get pushed up the hype ladder. The more up the hype ladder we go, the more of an audience that our stuff gets pushed out to. So you can help your favorite shows right here on OLE by providing your weekly hype points on your mobile phone to your favorite shows. Please go and do that. We really love and appreciate every single one of you that supports every single week. But for myself and Andre, we wish you a happy Sunday, and we'll see you in a week's time. Take care, everybody.